Hi friends, it's Andrea over at Sewspire.com. I hope this video finds you well. So there's a whole bunch of adages that come to mind, but basically I am going to have to put my money where my mouth is. I got stuck with my craft box swap. There weren't any takers. I couldn't convince anybody that this was a worthwhile endeavor. Some of the early feedback I got was honest and so valuable to me. And bottom line is, crafters don't want to part with their stuff. That was the first thing. Second thing was, how do I know I'm going to get equal value in return, right? So some of you were uncomfortable with not knowing what you would get, unwilling to take that risk. So what's most important to me is that we are reconnecting with our craft, staying connected with our craft, engaging our creative genius, and enjoying ourselves. So as promised, I curated this box and I was going to do one of two things with it. Ship it to the person who was my Elfster swap pick, or I was going to use it up myself. So I am stuck with option number two. But it's interesting, when I was packing this box, I was like, oh, I could do that. I could do that. So all is not lost, and I intend to be inspired and enjoy myself, and hopefully that enthusiasm for sewing is conveyed in this video, and you will also enjoy yourself, be inspired to take some fabric off the shelf that you might otherwise not have worked with today, and start using up some of your personal stash. That is the mission. So just quickly, if you didn't see the first video, I'll show you what I'll be working with today. I have a couple yards of quilting cotton. One is like a camping print. One is a beautiful floral with a light pink background. I have some really nice distressed canvas. It's a beautiful color of blue. So it kind of looks like wax canvas, although it's not. And it kind of looks like denim, although it's not. It's just a woven home decor slash canvas weight fabric. And then I have another home decor print that is kind of an abstract floral. I have some really pretty lace. I'm excited to see what I could do with this. And then I have some great faux vinyl from Sally Tomato. And then I have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 zippers that are all YKK, and I have 2 spools of cotton Gutermann thread, and then a nice box of silver or nickel hardware that we can work with. So it's highly unlikely that I will be able to consume all of these materials in this one segment. I will continue through the month of February using this all up, capturing what I make for you. And then in March, I'm going to curate another box with the same intention. Maybe I'll go to somebody else. Maybe it's going to stay with me. Obviously, I'll be a little bit more biased then, and might really be taking it seriously. If I have to use up these materials, what do I want in this box? So either way, that's a win-win for you, because if you're inspired after I sew through all of this stuff and you decide to swap boxes with me, you're probably going to get a higher quality box. So maybe this was all meant to be. All right, so enough yipping. We're going to jump right in, and I truly am just going to follow my heart with this. I love designing bags and small accessories, so we're just going to cut and sew together. Earlier this morning, I was looking through my Pinterest page, and I, of course, have amassed a huge body of work. I've been on YouTube since late 2015, early 2016, and most of that time I was designing bags and producing tutorials. So I have designed hundreds of bags. One design that I have never shared with you that was a very popular bag that I used to make and sell in my Watermelon Wishes Etsy shop was called a Carryall Bag. And it is a larger, taller version of my deluxe diaper bag, but it's great for weekends. If you do have someone in your family that's having a baby and they already have another child, this is a perfect size bag for a family with 2 or more children. So I know it is a carry-all bag. It does use up a fair amount of fabric, so I honestly think we're going to start there. I'll give you all the cut measurements as we go. I cannot promise you a PDF though, so grab a notebook so you can take notes as I cut, so you'll have all your pattern pieces handy. All right? Okay, I think these two will be a darling combo because it could work good for a boy or a girl. These little glampers obviously would appeal to a variety of moms, and then the camping scene and the trees could equally be unisex. Love the blue distressed canvas for the exterior, and I think I'll be using this camping fabric as the interior slash accent fabric. So because this material was folded up, I'm just going to give it a real quick press before we start cutting. So for the exterior and interior body panels of the Carryall tote, you will be cutting those into squares, large squares. In general, my design methodology uses simple shapes. And that's why I had so much early success on YouTube, is because I catered to the visual learner. So these body panels measure 15 inches by 15 inches. So I trued up that right hand edge, and the first cut is going to be 15 inches on this. I will come back and cut that again, but I like to go ahead and just work all the way across and get all of my pieces. So another unique thing about my design methodology is all of these cuts are stored in my brain, and that's why I can cut so quickly like that. So the next thing that I cut are those exterior pockets, and those are 11 inches high. So I'm going to bump over 11 inches and make that next cut. Ultimately, they will be 15 inches wide, but we're going to make all those secondary cuts after we do this first round of cuts. Then next, I want to cut my side panels and my base panels, which are 8 inches wide. So I know I'm going to need 2 of those. Okay, now I'm going to go back in and cut these pieces one more time. So this was my 15-inch wide body panel, and I am going to cut that again so that I can have a perfect 15-inch square. This will be my front and rear body panel of this carry-all tote. So I have 2 squares that are 15 by 15. Gonna put those over on the ironing board. Then I have this nice base piece here, which I'm not gonna waste, in keeping with our sustainability theme here at Sewspire for 2025. So I want to go ahead and cut this 8 inches in, which will give me a base panel that is 8 inches deep by 15 inches wide. Put that on the ironing board. And let's see what I got left here. I can squeeze one more 8-inch panel out of that, and I will do that. That would be one of my side exterior panels. And so now I'm going to need one more 8-inch side exterior panel. Okay, now I have my 8 by 15-inch side panel. There are side pockets on this bag as well. I'm going to make those 8 by 11. And I have 2 of those. Got a little bit left over there. Okay, this is the front and the rear exterior pocket panel. And so I want this to be 11 inches tall by 15 inches wide. So I need to make the 15-inch cut next. And I have 2 of these rectangles, which will be the front and rear exterior pockets. And now I still have this full 8-inch cut. There is going to be a zipper top on this. All right, so let's go ahead and cut this 18 inches long. So the zipper panels, which we'll use to create a zipper top on this bag, are 8 by 18 inches. And I do have a few bits of this blue left, which maybe we will use that like to create a coordinating changing pad or some little zipper accessories for the inside. Okay, so now I am going to go ahead and work with this cotton fabric, which I was estimating the yardage on that. So let's see, that's 1. Yep, 2 yards perfectly. All right, my fabric straps measure 6 inches wide, and I'm obviously cutting this 72 inches long because I had 2 yards of fabric that I refolded. So I'm going to take off that selvage, bump this over, and cut myself a 6-inch wide strap. So these straps are going to roughly be 52 inches in length. So I have the fold right here, and I'm cutting on the 26-inch mark. One other little dilemma here that I'm seeing, you know, obviously the strap goes like this. So I'm still going to end up with some of these upside down. So I actually have a workaround for that. We're going to piece together a 3-part strap because I think that'll look ridiculous with this upside down. And we will do that with these little bits right here. So I'm going to cut 2 more joining panels that are approximately 8 inches by 6 inches. And I will be cutting this 52-inch strap right in half. So hopefully you're tracking that. If not, when we assemble the handles, this will make more sense. So my 3-part handle has 2 26-inch pieces by 6 inches and then 1 8 by 6-inch piece. So I'm going to just put a pin through those, and I'm going to go ahead and get my second handle together here. And that addition of that center panel will also give me a little bit more wiggle room on the strap length. I will most likely still be trimming some off the bottom. If you do not have a directional print, this is a non-issue for you. You could just cut your straps to your desired length and be ready. But this is a good workaround if you have a directional print and you love it. It also teaches you how to maximize your yardage for directional print. So because the straps were the largest piece of that cut of fabric, I want to get those out of the way first. Now I can go back and start working on cutting out my interior panels and my exterior accent fabric. So the pockets on the outside will be lined with this, and that'll pull in those handles really nice too. Okay, so after I took off the straps, lucky for me, I can still get those 15-inch body panels off of this, so that is absolutely terrific. So I need to cut myself two 15 by 15 inch interior body panels. Over the years, a lot of people have told me that they absolutely dread cutting out patterns. I've spent the better part of the last 2 years working with other independent designers' patterns, and I can appreciate why it would be challenging for you to cut out pattern pieces if you don't know what's coming next. So now I have two 15-inch squares for the interior. Now I want to work on getting my interior base and side panels, which measure 8 by 15. So again, I want to consider the direction of this fabric, and I'm for sure going to want my side panels going in the right direction. So that means I'm going to need to make a 15-inch cut off this that then I can open up and cut these side panels from. So these side panels are 15 inches tall by 8 inches wide, and now they will be going in the correct orientation. So I'm going to take another 8-inch wide cut off of this yardage. And then I will trim that up to 15 inches, so I have an 8 by 15 inch base. And then you can see what I mean by a horizontal orientation. So then when you look inside of the bag, right, it looks nice. All right, so far I have my interior body panels, my interior side panels, and my interior base panel cut. Next priority for me is going to be the exterior pocket panels. And so remember, those exterior front and rear pockets are 11 inches tall by 15 inches wide. So I'm going to replicate that here and get myself two rectangles that are 11 inches tall by 15 inches wide. to line those exterior pockets. All right, I have my front and rear exterior pocket linings. Now I need my exterior side panel pocket linings. So those were also 11 inches tall. And again, I'm going to have to compensate for the direction of this print. So I'm going to make this cut 11 inches. And then those side pockets are only 8 inches wide. So my next cut is 8 inches to give myself 2 rectangles that measure 8 inches wide by 11 inches tall. And those again will be the pocket lining for the exterior side pockets. All right, next step for me to think about is some interior pockets. Interior pockets in this bag can be 10 inches tall. So I think this piece here might make a really nice contrast to the interior of this bag. This print is kind of busy. So let's cut the interior pocket fronts 10 inches tall by 15 inches wide. And I have 2 of those rectangles. I'm going to need some lining fabric on the back of those. So here, if I could squeeze out another 10 by 15, which it looks like I can. And I remember these are 11 inches tall because they were for the exterior pockets. This is the remnant from cutting that. So I just want to shorten this down to 10 inches. So my interior pocket linings will measure 15 inches wide by 10 inches tall. And I will have 2 of those. All right, so right now I am set up to have 3 exterior front pockets, 3 exterior rear pockets, 2 exterior side pockets, and then on the inside I have 2 full-length pockets across the interior front and rear walls, which can be divided. I think one of them I'm going to make a full-length zipper pocket, and the other one I will divide into thirds. So for the full-length zipper pocket, I'm going to need a little frame for the top of that zipper, which will be 4 inches wide by 15 inches long. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that. And this piece here will work. All right, this is going to get folded into a 4-ply top, which I'll sandwich the zipper in between and secure to that interior body panel to frame out the zipper. We'll do that together in another video, and that will make perfect sense to you. So I got that for the zipper. Key fobs are typically 4 inches wide too, and I know that a lot of people prefer having a key fob in their bag. And with this particular style of bag with that full-length zipper pocket and that frame we just cut out for the top of the zipper, it's really easy to tuck a key fob behind that. So let's go ahead and cut out a key fob 4 inches wide by about 10 inches long. All right, and now I have a key fob. And so you can see here, there is not much left. I have a few bits here of the print and a few bits of that canvas. So we went through that material pretty quick. I think these little bits here could definitely be used to make a zipper pouch or a changing pad, maybe even a little burp cloth would be so adorable. So as to not confuse anyone, I'm just gonna tuck these remnants aside and then we'll craft something else from those, most likely to match this bag. Because I think that's the easiest way to have zero waste is to just keep sewing little accessories until you can't think of anything else to make. I have a Pinterest board that's chock full of designs I like. So there's a lot of fun things we could do with even that tiny bit of leftover fabric. So if you were having trouble following along as I cut out this fabric, fear not, because once I get the pieces all pressed and laid out and we start sewing, I will go over all those measurements with you again. I hope you're excited to see this carry-all bag come together. It is my original design. I have sold hundreds of them on my Watermelon Wishes Etsy site, primarily to families that have 2 or more children. But this is a great bag for weekends, or even perhaps if you have to take a lot of stuff to work or school with you, this would be ideal. Also makes a really great go-to bag if you want to keep that in your car. So it was a pleasure reconnecting with you today. I'm super excited to get sewing this bag. I'll just be popping in the next time I have a little bit of extra time and we will start sewing in the next segment. Hope you have a beautiful day and thank you so much for spending this time with me.